Beyond the root cause, mapping the system with PRISM. Ask any safety professional about the root cause, and you'll likely get a very familiar story. It's the story of the broken part, the distracted driver, or the failed sensor. We've been trained for decades to go down the rabbit hole, 5-whying our way until we find that one singular point of failure, the holy grail of incidents. We find the person or the bolt that failed, we fix it, and we check the box. But here is the hard truth. The root cause is a lie. In the complex, high-velocity world of 2026, things don't happen in a vacuum. A forklift accident in a warehouse isn't just about a driver missing a turn. It's about a delivery deadline that was moved up, a poorly lit corner, a buzzing smartphone, and a brain that was functioning on 4 hours of sleep. When we search for a root cause, we are trying to find a linear answer to a non-linear problem. We are trying to draw a straight line through a spider web. To truly understand safety, we have to stop looking for the thing that broke and start mapping the system that allowed it to happen. That's where the PRISM tool from Janelle Penaflore's methodology comes in, the neuroscience of the blame trap. Why is the idea of a root cause so seductive? It's actually wired into our biology. Our brains are energy-saving machines. Analyzing a complex web of systemic influences takes an immense amount of caloric energy and cognitive processing power in the prefrontal cortex. On the other hand, finding a single person or item to blame triggers cognitive ease. When we identify a villain, the worker who didn't follow the SOP, our brain's amygdala relaxes. We feel a sense of closure and safety. This is what we call the blame trap. We trade a deeper understanding of the system for a quick dopamine hit of problem solved. In reality, neurobiology tells us that human error is almost always a symptom, not a cause. Our brains are constantly navigating heuristics, mental shortcuts that help us work fast. When the system is designed poorly, those shortcuts lead to incidents. If we only fix the human and not the system that triggered the heuristic, we are just waiting for the next incident to happen with a different human. Introducing PRISM, a trademarked tool built by Janelle Penaflore, a new way to see. To move beyond the illusion of the root cause, we need a lens that accounts for the messy, beautiful, and complex reality of the modern workplace. The PRISM acronym stands for Patterns, Relationships, Influences, Systems, and Mapping. It's not just a checklist, it's a way of visualizing the invisible forces that dictate how work actually gets done. Not how it's written in the manual, but how it happens on the shop floor at 3 p.m. on a Friday. First, patterns, the echo of the past. We start by looking at the temporal dimension. Is this incident a one-off, or is it a ghost from the past? PRISM looks for weak signals, small, seemingly insignificant glitches that have been happening for months. By identifying these patterns, we move from being reactive to being predictive. Next, relationships, the human-machine interface. In a world of increasing automation and AI, the relationship between the human and the tool is where the magic and the danger happens. This isn't just about ergonomics, it's about neuroergonomics. How does the interface of a software system or the layout of a retail floor affect a worker's cognitive load? If the relationship between the worker and their tools is friction-heavy, the system is primed for a collapse. This is where behavioral science meets the real world. What were the external influences? Was there a culture of urgency? Was there social proof? Everyone else is cutting this corner, so I should too? PRISM maps the social and psychological pressures that dictate behavior more than any safety sign ever could. We look at the structural bones. This includes the supply chain, the scheduling software, the maintenance cycles, and the physical environment. We treat the workplace as an ecosystem. If a tree dies in a forest, you don't just blame the tree. You look at the soil, the water, and the surrounding flora. The M is the most critical part. Instead of a linear timeline, we create a PRISM system map. This is a visual network that shows how a change in the influence layer, a new bonus structure, created a pattern in the systems layer, skipping maintenance, which ultimately led to the incident. The traditional 5 whys method is like looking at a movie through a straw. You see one tiny part of the screen, and you think you know the whole story. Systems mapping using the PRISM lens is like stepping back and seeing the entire IMAX screen in 4K. When you map the system, you realize that root cause is actually multiple contributing factors acting in concert. In a warehouse setting, the root cause of a pallet rack collapse might be listed as forklift impact, but the map shows influence. An uncommunicated shift change led to fatigue. Relationship. The forklift's new safety sensor was overly sensitive, leading the driver to disable it. Alarm fatigue. System. The warehouse was 110% capacity, leaving zero margin for error in the aisles. Pattern. This was the third near miss in this aisle in 2 weeks. When you see the map, you realize that firing the driver does absolutely nothing to prevent the next rack collapse. You have to heal the soil to save the trees. So how do you put it to action? The science to life bridge, or how your brain works on systems. We apply this to our daily leadership by starting with a simple neural pivot. The next time something goes wrong, whether it's a major safety incident or just a missed deadline in the office, catch your brain as it tries to find a root cause. Instead of asking, who messed up or what broke, try asking, what were the conditions that made this action make sense to the person at the time? What patterns have led us to this moment? Where is the friction in our current system? By asking these questions, you are literally retraining your brain to move away from the blame trap and toward systemic curiosity. This lowers the stress response in your team and opens the door for actual innovation and safety improvements.
Next, let's discuss the path to mastery. How to obtain a PRISM certification. Understanding the theory is one thing. Being able to map a complex system in the heat of a post-incident investigation is another. This is why many organizations are moving toward the PRISM Incident Systems Mapping certification.
This isn't your standard Safety 101 course. It's a deep dive into applied systems thinking, learning to see the world in networks rather than lines. Neurosafety foundations. Understanding how brain chemistry and cognitive biases influence workplace behavior. Advanced mapping techniques. Using software and visual tools to build systemic incident reports that actually change executive-level decision-making. When a leader becomes a certified PRISM mapper, they stop being a safety cop and start being a systemic architect. They gain the ability to look at a complex incident and provide a roadmap for long-term resilience rather than just a band-aid fix. Resilience is the goal. In the words of Todd Conklin, the goal of safety in the modern era isn't the absence of incidents, it's the presence of capacity. We want systems that are fail-safe, not just safe. When we move beyond the root cause, we stop chasing ghosts and start building stronger, more resilient businesses. We acknowledge that humans are human. They will be tired, they will be distracted, and they will take shortcuts. A resilient system is one that is mapped well enough to absorb those human realities without collapsing. Mapping the system isn't just about safety, it's about business intelligence. A system that is prone to safety incidents is usually a system that is also losing money, burning out employees, and frustrating customers. It's time to stop looking for the root and start looking at the forest. It's time to see the world through the safety disruptor's prism.